This usability test results presentation is from Group 3 in Writing Studies 5501, Usability and Human Factors in Technical Communication at the University of Minnesota. This group is comprised of Katie Elder, Brian Erdrich, and John Armajani. This executive summary shares an overview of the purpose and research questions, methodology, results, and recommendations from our team's usability tests on TECO's website. Research questions. Our usability tests focus specifically on TECO's homepage, About Us page, and What We Do page. Our research questions for usability testing included determining what kinds of critiques of the information presented on TECO's website do users have, what are their responses to that website's layout and information, and what kinds of suggestions do testers have which relate to what is missing and how to fill it with useful information. Our specific research question was as follows. How can TECO's website be most useful to prospective investors of TECO Group in the communities which are affected by the projects of TECO's clients? Methods. There were 4 methods of information gathering used during the test. 1, background questionnaires, 2, scenario tasks, 3, post-task questions, and 4, debriefing interviews. The background questionnaires gathered some basic demographics. Participants supplied information such as age, how often they use a digital device, how often they use the internet, how proficient they are with technology, and how knowledgeable they are about international business. During the test, testers were given 9 scenario tasks. These were ordinary tasks relevant to what TECO's audience may search for on the website. After participants completed the scenario tasks, they were given post-task questions. All of the questions asked them to rate the ease or difficulty of each task. When the test was finished, the participants were given a debriefing interview. The debriefing questions asked participants about their impressions of the website. The background questionnaires gathered some basic demographics. Participants supplied information such as age, how often they use a digital device, how often they use the internet, how proficient they are with technology, and how knowledgeable they are about international business. These are the results of the background questionnaire. During the test, participants were given 9 scenario tasks. These were ordinary tasks relevant to what TECO's audience may search for on the website. After participants completed the scenario tasks, they were given post-task questions. All of the questions asked them to rate the ease or difficulty of each task. When the test was finished, the testers were given a debriefing interview. The debriefing questions asked testers about their impressions of the website. Results. When given a list of words to select to describe their usability experience, participants selected positive words such as simple, clear, clean, and straightforward. The easiest scenario tasks for the testers involved scenario 1, where they were asked to find a street address, scenario 2, where they were asked to contact the TECO group staff from the website, scenario 5, where they were asked about the number of employees at TECO, scenario 7, where they were asked to find the contact information for TECO, and scenario 8, where they were asked to find TECO's principals. These areas of the website were marked clearly with understandable words and appeared in locations where the testers expected to find them. In these cases, the links were not hidden by photos, nor did photos on the website distract the users from locating that information. Results. Overall, participants were able to complete some tasks without difficulty. However, participants encountered several issues which are fully explained in this report. The scenario tasks which caused users difficulty are the following. Scenario task 3. This task asked users to locate information about TECO's financial commitments. The key issue with scenario task 3 was that there were no tabs or links that related to financial commitments, which made it difficult for testers to find that information. Scenario task 4. This scenario task involved finding TECO's beliefs. The key issue with scenario task 4 was that some users had difficulty seeing the relationships with TECO's beliefs as stated in the scenario task and its values on the About Us page. Scenario task 6. This scenario task involved finding the number of people employed at TECO. The key issue with scenario task 6 involved the time and effort that the testers invested in counting the employees whose names, titles, and photos appear on the About Us page. Scenario task 9. This scenario task asks users to find a method to learn about careers at TECO. The key issue with scenario task 9 was that there is no link entitled careers, and most testers did not know that they could look for career information by clicking on the LinkedIn icon. Recommendations. Based on our results, we offer the following recommendations. 1. A link entitled Click Here to Work for Us, Careers or Find Careers through LinkedIn near the bottom of the web pages. 2. A search box at the top of each web page that would enable users to search the website. 3. Links for more information about each of TECO's employees who are listed under the subheading Our Team on the About Us page. 4. Links entitled I'm an Investor and I'm a Community Member on TECO's homepage. The I am an Investor page would include information about financial commitments and services. The I am a Community Member page would include information about safety, TECO's success stories, and the company's values. 5. Stronger relationships between text and photos on TECO's website. 6. Drop-down menus and increasing the links on the web page's headers and footers, which would enhance users' navigation. 7. Larger fonts, customized photos that relate to TECO's messaging, bullets in appropriate places, and storytelling to convey information. And 8. Calls to action, such as calls to get started, got a question, and/or click here to work for us. Targeted participants. According to the client information provided to us from TECO, its website's users include investors, community members who are affected by the work of TECO's clients, and other persons who may be interested in TECO's work. Some of TECO's users have high levels of proficiency using computers, and others may have less competency. We would expect investors to have a higher technological competency and community members to have diverse levels of technological competency. Actual participants. We recruited 5 testers for this usability evaluation and gave each of them pseudonyms to protect their identities. Due to time constraints, we were unable to recruit participants who were familiar with TECO's website. Although the participants did not necessarily fit within the user demographics of TECO, testing participants with no previous experience of that website would also effectively provide valuable input about the multiple functions of the scenario tasks and research questions.
Thank you so much, John. I'm going to start getting into some of the results here in more detail. Here you can see the heat map results, with 1 being a very easy, 2 being easy, 3 moderate, 4 difficult, 5 very difficult. We ended up going with 6 being impossible. They couldn't achieve it whatsoever. The scenario tasks that proved to be most difficult for testers were scenarios 3, 4, and 9. The difficulty for scenario 4 was low, receiving no 1s, but 2 2s and 2 3s, proving it to be more moderate than one would expect. However, the confusion with scenario 4 was often attributed to testers specifically wanting to find the word beliefs instead of values, which was a section that the testers found in each circumstance, that was further muddied by it being an image listed in Spanish. So keep that in mind as we're talking about scenario 4. I'm going to dive deep into scenarios 3 and 9 here. Some discussion of these scenarios, and then we're going to give some recommendations based off of what we found. Scenario 9 was as follows. You are passionate about the mission of TECO Group and would like to work for them. Find a method to learn about careers at TECO Group. This one was a very interesting task. Even us in our group had a very difficult time with finding them when we were requested to make a scenario task for jobs. Roland and Kevin could not achieve this whatsoever. Anthony found it to be very difficult, but said that he could still manage it. That being said, he said that he would manage it by calling the general number to find out about careers. So he didn't actually find any careers listed. He just found calling to be his method. That being said, Catherine and Miranda found it relatively quickly. Miranda looked around on the website trying to find a more clear direct link to careers, and then ended up going to LinkedIn. But Catherine, it seems that she has done this before and has a habit of looking for careers in LinkedIn. So let's look at what it currently is. Right now, we've got the careers are exclusively listed behind this LinkedIn button. So somebody needs to have a LinkedIn account. You need to click through a few slides, and it's hidden right here. So Roland, Kevin, Anthony, none of them thought that you could find careers in a LinkedIn button, or they didn't see the LinkedIn button, both of which are an issue. Nearly every single one of our testers suggested having some kind of a link in the bottom, like this. A careers link, obviously not with these arrows, that very clearly is you scroll down to the bottom of the web page, you want to work for them, there's something that says careers or work for us to make it very quick and easy to be able to find those. I would also recommend along those lines having a careers page to the website rather than just linking it to LinkedIn, simply because some potential applicants may not be familiar with LinkedIn or may not have a LinkedIn profile, which could cause them some confusion. Now, moving on to scenario task 3, it reads, you are part of a corporate team which will potentially invest in copper mining in Chile. Find information about how TECO Group can assess your financial commitments to local communities through TECO Group. This proved to be a lot of problem, or give us a lot of problems. Part of it may be the scenario task itself. Assessing your financial commitments can mean a lot of things. It's hard to really understand directly what that is. So our testers were generally scanning for the word financial or finance, and they couldn't find that anywhere except for on the finance manager title in his job and next to his picture there. So you can see Kevin looked around a lot. He and almost everybody, they landed on something in the website and they thought, I think this is it. And even Kevin did land on this, but he's like, I'm not confident in that at all. So I'm going to say, no, I can't do this. So this proved to be a very difficult situation for our testers. Most of them guessed this down here would be the answer. Measuring the effectiveness of social investment down at the bottom right of the services page. Not only that, but as they were scanning through, some of them didn't even realize that you could hover over these pictures to find words. And so then they were hovering over every single picture as they were going through, which frustrated them as they were trying to scan for the word finances. Now, images are the greater recommendation here. Images provide us with a lot of problems. Here on the main page, we had some comments saying that this giant banner right in the middle of the main page with these 4 dots was not important information as they were scanning for this important information down here. So some of the decorative photos were getting in the way, and we're thinking, okay, why are we looking at a bunch of people standing around in a field looking at rocks, right? Not only that, but sometimes the dots, the cycle dots like this one here, were very confusing. Some people didn't, they started clicking through and they're like, well, why isn't this picture changing? Oh, and then they realize that it's actually building out this cycle up top. So more confusion with images. The images, as I was saying, they obscure information, right? Here, the cursor is actually hovering over citizen participation. However, there are words over here, so we get confused on what to look at. One individual even said that these looked like blog posts more than services. So there's an issue with design. The website at its present isn't scannable. It has unclear or obtrusive images. The images are meant to create a friendlier atmosphere for community members, but it impedes on an investor's ability to scan for important information. So here is our homepage suggestions in red. We are recommending having two large buttons, one for I am an investor, one for I am a community member. You can navigate to these up top. This separates your two very large audiences that have very different needs and desires. The investors need to be able to scan through to find that data very easily, financial information very easily. The community members, they want to see those pictures. They want to feel an emotional connection, as you say. It is very much emotion related. So if we go into the investor page, it would have minimal to no decorative images. It would focus instead on informative visuals, data, maps, testimonials. We want really effective information design here so it's very easily scannable and it hooks people very quickly. We need a call to action in each of these pages, but in here, call to action, connect with us on your project. Many of our testers said that the point of the website was to give general information about TECO. If you want them to actually engage with TECO, if you want investors to engage with you, you need a call to action there saying, connect with us on this project. We've also had many requests for you to include a case study with process steps from start to finish that demonstrate TECO's experience and credibility. It doesn't necessarily need to give every single detail of a institution's private information. But a step-by-step process, this is what we're going to do, will really add to your credibility and give them confidence in what you're about to do. Now for the community members page, this one can be story-based. Elderly community members like to read and stay on one page. We had one tester who was elderly and he never wanted to leave a page. Before he left a page, he would read it over 2-3 times trying to find information. So this would be a one-stop shop for elderly community members, a place where they can go to find everything that they need. It would include decorative and emotional photos. Those ones that are getting in the way of an investor trying to find useful data are helpful for a community member to feel emotionally safe and beneficial with TECO. This would highlight the values of TECO, right? What you believe in, your commitment to the community, and those things. And it would demonstrate safety and environmentalism with potentially another case study and community member testimonials. TECO brought a group into our community and it was a wonderful experience. Here's what we have to say about it. Call to action in here too would also be appropriate in the form of something like let your voice be heard, where they can maybe write their own testimonial, or something like questions, talk with us. Then they have a way of contacting somebody from TECO to answer any questions that they may need and feel comfortable there.
Hello, I'm Katie Elder, and I'm delivering the last part of this presentation. Our next recommendation for this website is to add in a search bar. We are associating this recommendation with scenario task 4, where we asked our testers to find TECO's beliefs. As you can see here on our results chart, this was a medium difficulty task, with testers giving it scores of 2s and 3s. Our testers spent a lot of time scrolling through the site's pages and reading through the text. TECO website was good about giving testers basic information about the TECO group, but testers tended to struggle with finding more specific information, like finding what TECO's specific beliefs or values are. If you add a search bar to the site, your audience will have an easier time accessing the information they want and need. So making your content very plain and clear will help with this recommendation too. If you want your clients and your communities to be able to find out your beliefs or your values, write them down in plain language and put them under a heading saying, our beliefs, or our values, or mission statement. You can see that I've made a recommendation here for where you could put the search bar, right here next to this red arrow. Users tend to look for search bars on the top right of the website or alongside the other page links. So if you do choose to put it somewhere other than those places, make sure it's easy to find on every page so testers can see it. The last recommendation we have is for links to employee information or clickable employee information. This is linked to scenario 6, where we asked testers to find out how many employees were listed on the TECO website. This is linked to scenario 6, where we asked testers to find out how many employees were listed on the TECO website. You can see here that our testers split this task between easy and medium difficulty. Here's a screenshot of part of the current page. Just from this page, I can point out a few inconsistencies. Some of these photos are more in focus than others. There are no degrees or certifications or other professional letters listed after names. Some of the names and titles aren't capitalized, especially the women listed as consultants. None of them actually have their titles capitalized, which can make your first impression less professional. This is, like I said, this is a page of first impression. So being consistent and professional with your photos, your titles, and your formatting is important to our testers. They wanted to know if they could contact someone with questions, what experience employees have, or if any of them have relevant degrees or certifications. You can see here that the pictures change to color when your mouse hovers over them. In a lot of places, this can indicate a link, but as there is no link to click here, it tended to confuse our testers. So this is a really good place to embed a link to an employee bio or background. Here are a few things that I have suggested for the employee bio pages. You could start with professional or general background, such as any credentials they have, any recent or cool projects they have been a part of, maybe a specialty they have, if they've spent a lot of time with a specific company, like a mining company or an energy company, or if they are a consultant for a specific local area. Additionally, if they are an employee that can act as a point of contact for investors or community members, having contact information, specifically a phone and an email to contact them with, along with their availability here. So that can be office hours, like between 10 and 2 or 9 to 5, or you could have a calendar link so people can click on it and schedule a meeting with them over phone, in person, or over Zoom or another virtual meeting platform. That would be valuable for both your audiences, as not all rural people have internet, as I'm sure y'all know. Our testers, when they looked at this page, they were often working through scenario tasks. They often wanted to contact a specific department in TECO Group, like human resources, or someone in a financial department to discuss their financial commitment, or asking for a financial consultation. They also might be looking for an employee that's local to a specific region of Chile, or if they are a local person that has just had a mining project start up, they might be looking for employees with prior experiencing in mining so they can ask safety questions or environmental questions. These employee bios on the what about us page. They could either indicate people who are specific contacts for these questions, or you could have general contact information for those concerns beneath your employee profiles. Lastly, your bios could also hold description of the duties that your employees carry out. If someone does safety inspections, if someone does financial consultations, if someone does hiring or help set up hotspots for companies operating in rural areas. That's valuable information to include. And that's it. Thank you so much for letting us help you guys. This has been a really cool project to work on. And we really hope that you find our research and our suggestions helpful. Thank you so much.